Oh, hey there. Welcome to the King's Legacy podcast. If this is our first time meeting, my name is Rich James Jackson, and today we're going to dive straight in. Did you know that the majority of divorces are initiated because one partner feels emotionally disconnected? For many dads, this disconnection starts with one common mistake. It's a mistake that's easy to fall into, but if it's not addressed, it can quietly erode your relationship. Today, we're going to talk about what that mistake is and why it happens, and most importantly, how to fix it. I've seen this mistake over and over again in my own life, in the lives of my friends, and in some of the dads we work with as well. It's not always obvious at first, but the effects are undeniable. So if you're feeling like the connection with your wife isn't what it used to be, this episode is for you. So what is it? The number one mistake is failing to prioritize emotional connection. It's getting so caught up in providing for your family, managing work, and handling your daily responsibilities that you forget to nurture the emotional side of the relationship. It's not about being a bad husband or a bad dad. It's about losing sight of what really makes a relationship thrive, and that is connection. Here's how this mistake usually shows up. Firstly, you're so focused on work and providing that you don't make time for meaningful interactions. Secondly, this is gold. When your wife shares her feelings, you're quick to offer solutions instead of just listening. Thirdly, you assume that being physically present is enough, but emotionally, you're checked out. Over time, these small actions or lack of actions create distance. Your wife may start to feel unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. The relationship can begin to feel more like a roommate situation than a partnership. And the worst part, you may not even realize until the gap feels too wide to bridge. So why does this happen? There are a few reasons why. Number one is cultural conditioning. Many of us were raised to believe that our primary role is to provide financially. Number two, stress and burnout. After a long day, it's easy to default into just zoning out rather than engaging. And number three, lack of awareness. Emotional connection works differently for men and women. And this is gold. It's not that we don't care, we just don't always know how to show it. But here's the good news. This mistake is fixable. You can rebuild that connection and reignite that spark in your marriage. And here's how. Step number one, understand her needs. Every person feels loved in a different way. And for most women, emotional connection is key. Start by learning her love language. If you don't know what it is, ask her. Ask her questions like, when do you feel most loved by me? Or what's something I've done in the past that made you feel special? Those two questions can open up the conversation. Step number two, prioritize small daily actions. Rebuilding connection isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistency. Send her a text during the day to let her know that you're thinking about her. Plan a micro date, even if it's just a walk around the block. Take a moment to express appreciation for something that she's done. These small actions show her that she's on your mind and that you value her. Step number three, the scary one, lead with vulnerability. Connection grows when you show up as your authentic self. Be willing to share your own struggles and your own feelings. Let her know when you're feeling stressed or when you're feeling distant. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a way to invite her into your world. When you open up, it creates space for her to do the same thing. Take a moment to reflect. What's one thing you've done this week to make your wife feel seen and valued? What's one small action you can commit to tomorrow to rebuild that connection? If you want to go a little deeper on rebuilding connection and intimacy, I've created a free workshop called Roommates to Soulmates, the 7 steps to more sex. Inside, you'll discover how to understand and speak your partner's love language, rebuild emotional intimacy, and reignite that passion in your marriage. The link is below, it's free, and it's designed to help you create the relationship you both deserve. If this whole thing feels a little overwhelming right now, remember, you're not alone. This is something many dads struggle with, and it's something that you can turn around. Small, consistent actions build momentum, and momentum creates change. Connection isn't built in the big moments, it's built in the small, everyday choices that you make. As Brené Brown says, connection is the energy that is created between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued. You have the power to create that energy. Take action today. And make this week the one where you start bridging the gap and reconnecting with your wife. You've got this. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend who might need to hear it right now, and let me know what steps you're taking to rebuild your connection in your own life. And I'll see you in the next one.